Hello and welcome to KennyRoy.com. I'm Kenny Roy. This is the Ask Video Mail for the week of January 3rd, 2011. Happy New Year! Oh my gosh, God, time flies, doesn't it? I can't believe it's already 2011. It seems like yesterday I started the site. It also seems like yesterday that it was February, and I had a huge delivery in February at my studio, and I still feel like I'm making up on sleep for that. So, gosh, time flies. But thank you for being here. I'm still so excited about the site, if you can tell. Going strong. Lot of community feel in the forums and in between members, and I'm just so fantastically excited about it. I can't even tell you. It's so great. So don't forget to participate in this site. Send your questions for the Ask Video Mail to webmaster@kennyroy.com and with the subject of Ask Video Mail so that I know it when I see it. Okay? I love the questions. Keep the questions coming, and we're all going to learn from these, and they're great. I'm really loving them. So let's get to the question for this week, which is, yeah, so you are trying to use reference as much as you possibly can. But the first thing is that there probably are less things that you can reference in animation, just like with your own camera and your computer, then there are things that you're going to have to animate that you can't. So knowing how and when to use yourself for video reference is very important. Okay, but also knowing how to get video reference that is applicable to a scene that's like difficult or has a lot of different kind of elements in it, or it's just impossible for you to shoot yourself, is also very important. But I just wanted to make that point first and foremost, that everyone wants to work at DreamWorks and Pixar and Sony, but the number of CG features, those performance movies where you can shoot video reference for yourself, is way low compared to the amount of jobs that there are in television VFX, film creature effects, and commercial VFX. So you're more than likely going to be working on something for a TV commercial or for a product or something like that than you are going to be. And video games. Oh my God, I forgot video games. Video games especially. We are all, we're not Black Ops, Ninja, quarterbacks, and that's what you have to normally work with. So it is advantageous to know a couple things. So I just want to go through this just short list that I put together that for reference and how to take reference. First rule I would say is never ever put yourself in danger. Okay, it's not worth getting hurt trying to get that perfect reference yourself. Okay. There's a little bit of honor in bleeding for your craft, and I can respect that, but I don't think it's very smart. I'm reminded of a couple things. Number one, I actually bent my finger backwards when I was doing reference on Kong, and I was climbing all over the stairs around the animation building at Weta, and I was saying to myself, oh my God, good thing it was my left hand, because if it was my mousing hand and I couldn't click, I would have been in a lot of trouble, right? So I bent my finger really far backwards, and it didn't break, but it was so painful for weeks on end, and I used the rest of my fingers on the keyboard, so it worked out. And also I remember in the behind the scenes for Jurassic Park, they showed all the animators at ILM running like Gallimimuses, I don't know, whatever, your guess is as good as mine, in the parking lot, and they set up like, I think, a trash barrel or something for them to jump over, and one of these guys catches his foot and slips and breaks his arm doing the reference footage. So that was I would argue that was not worth it. That was not a the net gain was very low on that that video reference, right? So that being that as it may, definitely, you know, if you can in a safe way reference yourself, then you are going to get the most amount of productive and viable reference if you do it yourself, because you're feeling yourself move, you're feeling that physicality, you're feeling the way that the weight is shifting and the hips are shifting and all those things. So if you get that physicality, that's really important, I would say. But at the same time, don't put yourself in danger, and you know, don't hurt yourself. That's not smart. So the next rule is reference yourself, and this ties in, reference yourself for performance rather than physicality. For a lot of the things that you're going to be animating, you want to make sure that your body language and really like your character comes through. And what I see very often is that people are not referencing themselves. Like if you're, like for instance, we've had to animate like bars of soap at the studio, right? So the bar of soap, and there was another one that was a blanket with googly eyes and a smiley mouth on it, right? So what I see though is people are like, oh, well, this is, I'm animating a blanket, so I don't need to do any reference. Well, that's kind of a pity, because if you stand up, if you get out of your chair and you really feel out some poses, you'll be able to put that back into the blanket. Okay, so reference yourself heavily for performance, for those kinds of really infused poses with body language and kind of that unspoken but just kind of felt kind of you know, layer of meaning behind that pose. Really try to see if you can get that and build that back into the physicality. If it's a scene that you can't reference for physicality, just reference it for performance instead. Okay. Also, there's a cornucopia of video sites that are available to you to find reference. BBC Motion Gallery is a great one. iStock Photo is a good one. YouTube, Vimeo. But don't overlook personal websites. Some places like clubs have videos of their performances or their competitions or them just out. Now, a lot of times they do post these up on the web, on YouTube or Vimeo or something like that. Every once in a while, though, you'll just find a site that's like, maybe you're doing someone like going off of a cliff on a canoe, right? It'll just be, you know, Bob's homepage. Hey, welcome to my homepage. I'm an avid canoeer and here are my videos. And they might be just like inline or embedded, and the YouTube link is not shared. So it's not publicly like searchable on YouTube, because they give you that option actually to remove the search and just make it so you have to embed it or link it. But maybe you'll find a club website for karate or karate or you know, canoeing or skydiving or stuff like that. And so don't overlook the idea that, you know, personal websites, and look for clubs and organizations that do the thing that you're trying to reference, and you might get a lot of really excellent video that you wouldn't find before. Look for reference. Number 4, look for reference that's related. So if a character is running and tackling someone, you have all the reference you need from football. So American football, gridiron, or whatever you call it outside of the States. So you have all your tackles. So if it's you know, character swinging from a rope or a vine or from a ledge, you can look at monkeys. You know, that kind of reference. Even if you have a character punching and you want to really have it feel like he's punching super fast and he's striking with these really super fast strikes, and you don't know exactly what you can get away with in terms of the speed and the recoil and all that stuff, you might even want to look for video reference of snakes. You know, because a snake can strike, you know, it's like the fastest thing in the world. It strikes and it recoils. So you might want to just match that frame for frame and then see what it looks like in your animation. So you can reference things that are related, and don't be afraid to go into the animal kingdom to look for motions that are that are impossible for humans, okay? This also goes for number 5, cartoony shots. Reference becomes basically, video reference, you standing there, performing it out, becomes decreasingly valuable the more cartoony your shot is. So also for cartoony, reference the things that are related, okay? So best thing to do is to focus on the performance with your own video, okay? So get that physicality, not physicality, that's for the other stuff, but get that, body language, get that real performance, get that multi-leveled, multi-meaning performance out of your own video reference. And then for physicality and for physical reference, you can refer to other things. So, if a character is like, well, I'm gonna go, and then he zips out, well, then you might wanna say, I'm gonna go, in your video reference, and then look at video of rubber bands being shot in slow motion, because your character is gonna stretch and look like he's fired out like a rubber band. And there's no reason why you can't get a little bit of helpful information, a little bit of help from reference like that for a shot like a cartoony shot. Character gets squished, look at reference of accordions. If a character, runs into a wall, look at video reference, or even tape a video of you opening and closing your door, to see what that hinge motion kind of looks like. Anything like that, okay? And then my last piece of advice is share your video reference with your friends. You never know when you're going to need it, and your friends, if you're all posting all the valuable video reference that you get with each other, then my goodness, you will build a library that is so good and so powerful, so in such a short time, it'll just be amazing. And then you might even find yourself inspired by what your friends are posting. So this is the link to a Dropbox, and if you don't have a Dropbox, then you should get one. Use this link. If you do have a Dropbox, just send me an email at webmaster@kennyroy.com with your email in it, so that I can send you a link to a Dropbox folder that was started a few semesters ago by Animation Mentor students that has dozens and dozens of clips already loaded into it, and you are more than welcome to join and to add your own clips and help build this video library. So I'm very excited about that. That sounds like a lot of fun, and another way for us to participate together and be a community. But that's a great question. Video reference is very important, but don't get caught up trying to put yourself in danger, number one, but put yourself too much into the physicality of what you're doing, because you're probably going to fall just a little bit short because you're not a kung fu / samurai / pastry chef. Okay? Great question. Please send more questions to webmaster@kennyroy.com with the subject of Ask Videomail, and I will probably record a video on your question sometime soon. Okay, guys, thanks a lot. I'm loving the site. I hope you're loving it too. Good luck with your animation, and as always, rock on.